So today in my series of chats with members of the Grooveschool organisation, I've got Sheriff, who's probably the longest serving volunteer here at Grooveschool, and I was talking to Richie before this went on air, and he said he sort of described you as the embodiment of Grooveschool because you've come up through the system, first of all as a student and then more recently as a mentor and part of the team getting it all together. So just tell me, I mean, before we start going into that association with Grooveschool, what led up to it? What was your involvement with music?
So my involvement in music comes from when I was in Nigeria in boarding school. There was this channel called Trace, which showed the top 10 club tracks. And then I heard this track from Animals by Martin Garrix, and that was what got me into electronic music.
Wow, so what was so different about that particular track? What did you kind of, if you can remember, what did you kind of respond to right away? You said, yeah, that's what I want to do.
It's different from all the other tracks that I listened to from like hip hop, pop. So that was what drew me towards it as well.
Was it very much EDM
yeah.
type style?
Yeah.
So has that sort of governed what you've been into moving on from that and what you've started to put together?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. What is it? Is it a bass sound? Is it the...
My sound has drifted off a little bit because I don't really listen to Big Room as much. But back then I used to listen to it all the time.
Right. And now you've got a bit more varied taste?
Yeah, a bit more varied taste, yeah.
So what else are you into?
So hip-hop, pop, and here and there I might listen to house music, but it's mostly like dubstep and trap.
Right. Well, that's quite a combination to actually put together. Can't mix them very well, I guess.
Well, some people do, like they do the multi-grind mixing.
Right. Okay. So you said that kind of interest was sparked when you were at boarding school in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But were you kind of moving between Nigeria and the UK?
No, I was in Nigeria for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then I came to the UK in 2014.
Right.
So when I came back, I was like looking for the track because I didn't know what the track was, but I heard it before on the radio as well. So.
Right. So I mean, in some ways, coming here, it must have been kind of opened up a lot more in terms of the amount of music that you were listening to, that you're really into, and the number of places that play it. I mean, was it kind of almost like a dream come true, or was it actually almost too much?
It was almost like a dream come true because in Nigeria it's more Afro beats, and then they might play like hip hop. So
yeah. And
then, so when I came back to London, I had a lesson teacher, which was also a DJ and a producer.
Uh-huh.
So he showed me how to do a little bit of production. And back then we were using like FL Studio to produce music. And then he told me that he was also a DJ, and then that's how he showed me a little bit about DJing.
Right. Was that the first time you'd really looked at getting into DJing?
Yeah.
Excellent. And was that before you kind of made the first approach to Grooveschool?
That was before.
So and then what happened? Because as I understand it, you got involved with Grooveschool. Was it through one of your teachers?
Yeah, through high shore school.
Yeah.
It was one of my teachers. Richie went to South Bank, and there was a conference there, so he went there, and they had a chat with Kathy, is her name.
Uh-huh.
And then she came back to the school, and she told me that there's this guy that does shows and takes people on gigs and does DJing and music production.
Yeah. And you thought that was absolutely what you wanted to do?
Yeah.
So you came along.
Yeah.
Was that when Grooveschool were based in Streatham?
Streatham, yeah.
The White Lion, I think it was.
White Lion.
Yeah. So what was that like? Because, I mean, you must have come along and you've got to step through that door and meet all these strange people you've never met before. That must have been quite a leap, really, for you to take.
Yeah, when I first came, Kathy came with me, but then the second week, Martin, which was my music teacher, he also came as well the second week. So they also supported me as well, came along.
Excellent. And have they sort of, or did they, and you're not at the school anymore, but
Yeah.
did they sort of continue to help after you'd made that Grooveschool connection?
Yeah, they did, because especially Martin will allow me to go on GarageBand on the iPad, so do a little bit of production there in school.
Right. Excellent. So you had this kind of evolving experience where, you got more access to music, you started to learn some DJ skills, you got some of the software to help you begin the production process. Did that help you to make the decision from becoming a kind of Grooveschool student to becoming one of the team here?
Yeah, I think when you come into Grooveschool and you spend a really long time here, eventually you want to start to teach other people and pass on the knowledge. So that kind of helped, coming to all of the sessions every week, and then eventually starting to help assist Richie and all the others.
Because, in a way, that must be a great feeling, because it's kind of almost like giving back in a way. You got so much help starting up.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of pass that on to a new generation or a new community.
Yeah, especially when I came, there was a lot of help from Richie, and then eventually he started to take me on to his gigs, and all these used to do little mini festivals, and would go to other places and do workshops there as well.
Oh, right. And so was that things like Lambeth Country Show and...
Yeah, there was Lambeth Country Show. There were other smaller events that were outside that we went to.
Right.
I think there was one in Greenwich. We did one in another park. Can't remember the place, but we've done loads of gigs.
Is that because one of the patterns that are coming out of these conversations is it's about teaching people the techniques and the technology and everything, but actually it's also about playing it to an audience.
Yeah.
Did you find that was for you an important part of the process?
I think it's an important part, because whatever you make, you also want to share it with people, because if you just keep it to yourself, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. So you got that opportunity.
Yeah.
Working with Richie,
Yeah.
and now you help mentor these groups that come in. Has that been a really positive experience?
Yeah, that's been a great experience, because before that I would do on and off jobs, but this was a continuous job. So, and especially with the autism group, that was really good, because I came from high school
Yeah.
with other people with autism. So it was great to teach them as well.
Was it? What was special about that?
I don't know, I just like it.
Because I think that is a community that sometimes they find communication difficult.
Yeah.
Were you able to find, using music and using all these resources, that help that communication process?
Yeah. So, because especially when you in high school, they don't do the type of stuff that we do, music production and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time it's just learning how to play the instrument. And when I was in Nigeria, it was even worse, because you're not allowed to use the instruments and stuff.
Yeah. Do you think sometimes, especially with schools,
Yeah.
the people who teach music can often be quite critical of, using this sort of hardware and software to create music? It should be done classically, through the usual channels. Do you find, have you noticed that kind of resistance from some schools?
Yeah, I think a lot of the music teachers don't know how to use the equipment, or maybe their background is more playing in a band.
Yeah.
So that's why they're teaching
Right.
music. But oftentimes they are failed musicians, so
Yeah.
that didn't work out for them, so they became teachers.
They say that, don't they? If you can't
Yeah.
do, teach. But when you've been involved with all this, in some ways, what you've learned and how you've put that into practice is a bit like being musician in the traditional sense, isn't it? You're still learning about music, you're still trying to create it, you're still having to perform it, just using different technology.
Yeah, I think because a lot of it now, even musicians, they are producing stuff in software, so it's almost similar to what we're doing over here as well.
Yeah. And do you get any pleasure out of actually creating the music, or is it very much about playing?
Yeah, I get there's that joy of creating something, especially something that you have in your head, and then you get it down into the software.
Yeah.
There's that joy of just releasing that energy and having fun.
Yeah. I mean, my personal take is that, music actually is a great motivator to also maybe get something else out of the experience. The motivation is producing something or performing, but actually there's other aspects of it, and particularly I think the mentor-student relationship that goes beyond music. What do you reckon?
Yeah, so there's a lot more to it than just like the music side of thing, because music helps. I think we talked about this the last time, where if people are having an argument and then you play a track, then everyone calms down.
I remember us talking about that, because I mentioned when I was watching the Olympics, I think the beach volleyball, there was some big sort of aggression thing going on, and I think people were starting to get very excitable, and then the DJ played Imagine by John Lennon, and he just calmed everything down immediately. And I think, I think music probably has a unique ability to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, music has that unique ability to control people.
Yeah. But control people in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way, yeah.
So are you still continuing to DJ? Have you actually played out?
The last gig that I did was the Lambeth Country Show.
Just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, before that I did Chronology as well.
Oh.
It was like a warm-up set.
Yeah.
Chronology.
And which one did you enjoy the most?
I enjoyed both, but the Lambeth Country Show was the good one.
Because I went to that, and because of where it was, and it was right between two bars, so it was actually, you get a lot of people passing by, and they maybe go and get a drink, but the music seemed to keep them there. Is that what you found when you played your set?
Yeah, because it's a different type of set from what we used to do before, because before we would play in between bands, and when we play in between bands, it's almost like a break where people are not paying attention to what you're doing. Yeah. And they're just there to focus on the bands. So it's a slightly different gig to that.
Yeah, but you still got to respond to the dance floor.
Yeah, we get to respond to the dance floor.
Yeah, because I was talking, I think it was in my chat with Eddie, we were just talking about that ability to read a dance floor. It's not automatic. It's something you've got to learn in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, learning how to read the dance floor is one of the main skills, and it takes time as well. I reckon
so too. Yeah, the technical skills you can learn, but I know some people have never learned to read a dance floor, and some people just get it. Yeah, and that's what you enjoy particularly.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy reading. Playing in front of people is like the best feeling you can ever have.
Yeah, and so that's what's going to keep you involved with music, is it?
Yeah,
and maybe keep you more involved with Grooveschool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Sheriff. I really enjoyed that conversation.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers.